to introduce you guys to this structure drawing tool here in Smartworks. It's what we're going to be using a ton because that's what organic chemistry is all about, is the structures of these molecules. So every time we use like a new aspect of this interface, I'll record a quick video to just sort of show you how. So in this particular type of question, we're going to be drawing out the Lewis structures for particular molecules. So for all of these structure drawing questions, you really want to answer them first on pencil and paper, and then try to input your answer into the system here. Okay, so we have here a selection tool going down. This would be an eraser, so we could delete something that we had. Here's how we draw bonds with this stick here. The plus and the minus are for formal charges. And then this tool here is to add like a plus sign if there was more than one reactant, or an arrow if we were going to draw to our products or something like that. We won't use that too much. And then down here are our lone pairs, how we add lone pairs. If we jump to the other side, here's how we select the particular element that we're talking about. So let's just get started. We're going to draw the structure of ammonia, NH3. If I click my line here, my drawing of bonds, it will automatically default to carbons because, you know, that's what organic chemistry is all about. We can change that over here at any time, right? So if I want to make that a nitrogen and that a hydrogen, that's how we're going to go about doing it. When I draw my new bond, it'll again be to a carbon. So I'm going to have to change those all at the end. We'll put a third one in here. Again, it's NH3, so I'm going to replace these with hydrogens. And now I need one set of lone pair electrons on that central nitrogen right there, right? So that is my answer for ammonia. Check, check. I can tell it's correct because I have my green check mark here. I guess let me just real quick do just to show you guys. So let's say that I accidentally draw two. So first of all, it's actually not picky about bond angle here. Just like when we draw in class, it's nice to draw things so that everything's all spaced out and you can see. But if for whatever reason this thing was over here, as we've said in class, right? It's the spatial like orientation isn't what matters. It's who's connected to who. So this is also perfectly legit, right? You'll see in terms of the answers that I built in and stuff like that. I try to make my structures look pretty, but there's no sort of crime against it. Okay. But now let's say, all right, I was drawing and I put too much stuff down. So here's an N. Here's supposed to be my H's, but of course this thing over here is not in the right place. That's when we can go ahead and delete using our eraser tool here. If I delete the bond, it'll keep those atoms there, right? If I actually hover over not just the bond, but the atom, it'll get rid of both. The selection tool, I don't know, this may be more helpful later on when we can, but you can sort of copy and paste. I don't know why you would need that right now, but when we sort of get further on, that would be helpful. And then this is a back button here to sort of undo the last thing that you did. Okay. Just to kind of explore these out here. Let's get our structure. This button here will zoom in to your structure, like make it as big as humanly possible. All right, and then you would scroll. In my case, I'm going to hit Command and scroll to zoom in or out. But just know whatever you put down, it's going to zoom in like maximally. And then this thing here, I believe, is like a cleanup. Let's see. Yeah, and I don't know. The system kind of automatically does what's called a cleanup, where in this case they space the bonds out evenly. I would sort of press this at your own risk. Oftentimes it's more helpful to just sort of be careful when you're laying down the bonds. And again, we can change these to any sort of elements here just based on this. If we do need a different element that's not listed here, we would take up our periodic table, but this is organic chemistry, and this is pretty much a short list of everything we're going to be using throughout this semester, save for maybe a few special situations.